Peace. Good morning, everybody. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. This is your host, Ali Taj Bey, reporting live from Glitch in the Matrix, the Apocalypse on YouTube. Please join the channel, subscribe, as we will be premiering lots of content, very helpful, help people get their lives in order, get their financial affairs together. So this one is one that I think is going to be very important to a lot of people. Um, for some reason, it's very simple to do. A lot of times, a lot of people don't know exactly how or where to go to actually get this done. They end up going to the wrong places and getting charged for it. So I actually pulled it up, showed you what it looks like on the Google search. Apply for EIN number. So some of these right here, you're going to see .com. These are probably places that are looking to charge you to set up your EIN number for you. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking their businesses, anything like that. Everyone has a right to do commerce. But what you want to do is, because the IRS actually offers this service for free, I want to show you how to navigate through the Google screen. So all of these, of course, this is a .gov, but with a com. So they just added gov in the name and then put .com. So it's add. So this is where you want to go. You want to go irs.gov. You're right there. Apply for EIN. Employee identification number is what it stands for. So go right in right here. Let me just make sure. So I want to show you the easiest way to navigate this. All right. So all right, it's usually like a one click and it takes you to it. So let me see. All right, so here it goes. This is the screen that you want. Make it just a little bigger for you. This is the screen you want. You're still on the IRS website, as you can see. And you can only apply for the EIN during the hours of operation of the business. So it's 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can apply and you can receive one EIN number per day. And that's per the applicant, because most times with the applicant, they are going to want a social security number to apply for an EIN number. So it's right here. You are limited to one EIN per responsible party per day. So you can actually have someone else, if you need another one for your business and you have multiple members or directors in your business, they can apply and you can receive more. But the responsible party is the person who ultimately owns or controls the entity, or who exercises ultimate effective control over the entity. Unless the applicant is a government entity, the responsible party must be an individual, i.e. a natural person. And I love that they say that in this definition. You don't see that a lot. So not an entity. All right, so this is stuff you can read up on. I'm just going to take you through, walk you through the basics, show you how to get this done, and you can get your EIN. It's very fast, and it's also free. So you must complete this application in one session, as you will not be able to save and return at a later time. Your session will expire after 15 minutes of inactivity, and you will need to start over. So with that being said, I want you to know that there's things that you're going to need directly either in front of you or just access it before entering into this platform or this portal. So I want you to get what's going to be the business address, what's going to be the mailing address, and I think that's it at that point. Yeah, just the business and mailing address, and I think that's mostly it. Those are some of the important things. I was almost going to confuse some of the things you need for incorporating and registering your business. So you would need a registered agent for those, for setting up your business. But for this, for the EIN, it's just you're going to need the business address, which more than likely, if you want to be taken serious and you want to develop credit later on, you don't want it to be your home address, unless that's where it's a home-based business and that's where you're operating out of. But still, for privacy reasons and for separating it from your personal credit, you would like to get a different address to use to register your business. So that's something I'll talk about in another video, but let's go on. I'm gonna show you how this gets done. All right, so you push the blue button, apply online now, and it tells you that, this is a disclosure that they have to make. Click OK. Let me get this big again. I think I have to do it every time I do this. But yeah, we're still an IRS website. Begin application. Yeah, I gotta make it big every time. All right. So a lot of people say, well, which EIN do I need? It depends. It really depends. If you're going to do some research or sit down and talk with someone, um, you're free to talk to whoever you like. I'm available for consultations. I can be reached at my email address is mylife180@gmail.com. And it's mylife180@gmail.com. You can put in the subject that you want to book a consultation with me. In the body, you want to let me know that you found me on YouTube, on my channel, or Facebook, or however you found me, and introduce yourself and leave a contact number. And I can usually let me know what time is best to contact you. We can exchange by email a couple of times. If we want to go forward with the consultation, I'll need your contact number and a good time to contact you. So let's go forward. So what type of legal structure is applying for an EIN? So there's a few. I'm not going to give legal advice, but I am going to give you a little bit of education. So there's a sole proprietorship. This is popular for a lot of people. I think because it's easy to set up. Your taxes it's going to be a 1040 filing, basically with a schedule that you will add on for any of your expenses that you can write off. You're able to write off a lot of things as a sole proprietorship, not as much as you would with a corporation or an LLC. So you have partnerships. These are usually like law firms, dentists. It's called a professional partnership or a limited partnership. Corporation is probably one of the most common. So these include S corporations. This is a little different. S corporation, you have to set up a corporation first, and then you will file to be elected as an S corporation. You have personal service corporations. You have real estate investment trusts, which is REITs. You have the regular investment conduits and settlement funds. So these are pretty common. Also, your LLCs. LLCs can be either a single member or a multi-member LLC. More than likely, again, I can't give legal advice and tell you which one is best for you, but I can tell you that there's more benefits of being a multi-member LLC versus a single. Is a structure allowed by state statute and is formed by filing articles of organization with the state. So I'm going to say probably these two and sole proprietorship are probably some of the popular ones. And in your case, just starting out, you would want to elect one of the two. I would say corporation or LLC. It really depends on you and your needs. And like I said, if you're unsure, you can either do research on your own, or again, you should look to consult with someone who's has experience in that field. So this is something that if someone has legally passed away, a relative or loved one, and you need to set up an estate where you're probably going to have an estate sale and different things of that nature, you will need an estate EIN because the estate will pay taxes on the sales from all the stuff that is sold from that person's estate. Trust you can set up at any time. You can get your EIN for if you're setting up a business trust and you want to open a bank account, you will need an EIN to do business with. So you have irrevocable trusts, which are beautiful as long as you're operating correctly in the irrevocable trust. Any property that you put into that trust is considered to be no longer yours. And this is a way that many people can avoid liability for many things like taxes, lawsuits, just a lot of things because it's no longer yours. As long as, depending on the timing, if it's like a bankruptcy involved, and you, I think within 180 days, you transfer something into a trust that is irrevocable, and then filed for bankruptcy, or if you were facing like in the middle of a divorce and the divorce was already filed and you transferred something in there, there could be some legal ramifications for doing it because of the timing. Um, so I'm going to go a little further in this video and give you some more good stuff. So let's make this big again. All right. So again, we're still on the irs.gov. Again, it's totally free. You do not have to pay for it. So choose the type you're applying for. You can click the underlying terms for a description. So this is for if you're, this is a little more advanced. If you're filing bankruptcy, the bankruptcy estate actually needs its own EIN number. So this is what you would apply for. So you would click this. Excuse me. If you are a pastor and you are forming a church, you would get a church EIN. And this is also a church control organization. So if you're committing a volunteer group, this is a way, because all of these are and most likely taxable entities, and they are going to have to do business with other entities. So the way to look at a EIN number is basically, let's say it's just a phone number. So in order for you to communicate with other entities, you must have a phone number. So in this case, it's an EIN. An EIN is almost synonymous with a phone number. It's just a form of contact of doing business and interacting with each other. So this is for an employer, for a fiscal agent. If you're going to be doing, I think, well, they have withholding over here, but I was going to say, I think that's pretty similar. So this is an employer plan. Sorry, if you have your own business and you wanted to set up a 401k for you, your family, or employees, this is something that you can set up, and this is your EIN number you would need. This is typically for governments when they're setting up like a new, I guess, a political subdivision. They would go in and they would get the EINs right here. This is also for the military when they're setting up and they're having like just agencies that they need. Sometimes they're temporary and they close them down after their purpose is served, so they would go in. This is for Indian tribal governments. When they're forming and they're making their businesses, they go ahead and get an EIN under this. This is state and local. Homeowners associations also have their own EINs. And you have IRA, Roth accounts. Household employer. This would be very important. This is if you're setting your house up as a home business and running and operating it as such. And this is something I'm teaching a separate course for. I'm looking to put it together. I believe at this time the donation is going to be $500. I'm going to show you how to set it up, and also to make it a nonprofit organization where you could apply for your nonprofit exempt status with the IRS, and everything that you own or hold in this business will actually be exempt from taxes. So it's good if you own property, you can title it to the nonprofit organization that has the exemption from taxes, and then no longer pay taxes on that property. So these are for scholarship funds. If you want to put together a scholarship for maybe someone in your neighborhood or for your child, you can do this, set it up as a scholarship fund. Again, political organizations, what I was speaking about down here. So something that they're setting up some type of new entity. This is where they would apply for the EIN. This right here is a PTA, like Parent Teachers Conference, I think. So PTO, Parent Teacher Organization or School Organization, you would set it up. This is a REMIC. Let me just click this. So a real estate mortgage investment conduit is an entity formed for the purpose of holding a fixed pool of mortgages secured by interest in real property. A REMIC issues regular and residual interest to investors, paying each shareholder his or her fair share of income generated from the REMIC, sorry. So I love that one right there. It's a little more advanced. I'm not going to speak too much about that. These are for social clubs. savings clubs, like if you've heard of a susu. So if you had a susu, you would want to do that, and legally you could pay taxes and write stuff off. That would be beautiful. These are sports teams. If you and someone in your community want to get together, form a team, little league, to give the kids something to do, you would set it up, get the EIN number. And this again is a withholding agent. So this is for someone who's withholding taxes. Those monies cannot be commingled. So they must be in their own account. So you would open an account with this EIN number. This right here, let me see, because I think this is going to open up another window. So we'll push this. All right. So I don't know if I want to go all the way through in this one. I do want to walk through and show you some of the things so you can understand this process. So the requesting EIN. So choose one reason that best describes why you're applying for an EIN. Most likely it's going to be start a new business, or if you already had an existing business and maybe you didn't have an EIN number. Sorry about that. I think so. I think my screen probably went dark. I just got to get this off of my screen. All right. Oh my God. Sorry about that. Something keeps popping up on my screen, and I think it caused the screen to go black. I apologize. All right. So if you've hired new employees and you wanted to go ahead and go official, get your EIN number, get your bank account set up so you can start doing payroll, all those things, that would be that reason. Some of the other reasons, or if you've already had the business established for a certain amount of time, but you never went and got the EIN number, you never registered it with the state, that would be for banking purposes, because in order to open a bank account, you are going to need the EIN confirmation letter from the IRS, which you will get after this series. I can't go that far because I would have to put in all the information to actually have to get issued a EIN number to show you completely through. But if you change the type of organization, so if you're changing from a sole proprietorship to a partnership, changing from a partnership to a corporation, etc., you would get an EIN number. Because most what is it? Sole proprietorships. I've never really seen a sole proprietorship have an EIN number. For the most part, they just operate with their social security number. So this is a reason why you would check that. Purchase an active business. This happens all the time. These are mergers, acquisitions, or just franchises, things of that nature. You would already have purchase an active business. So go forward. Oh, sorry. All right, I'm just gonna put banking purposes. So we can continue. It's gonna ask for information here, which I'm not going to input, but I'm just gonna show you a little more. All right, so again, as we spoke about in the beginning of the video, this is for the responsible party. And again, you are going to have to put your social security number in there. So you put your name, middle initial is not necessary, your last name, suffix if there's any. Choose one. I am a responsible and duly authorized member or officer having knowledge of this organization's affairs. Or you can also be a third party. Like I said, when I showed you earlier in the Google search, there are businesses that you can pay that will set this up for you. So they would click this. And of course, I can't click continue because none of this information is filled in. So I'm just going to go back a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't want to kick us off. I believe, yeah, so it's going to kick us off. Let me see. Okay, it didn't go too bad. Let's see if I can go back a little more. All right, so I don't think they're going to let me go back anymore. I was going to try to choose a couple different options as far as the corporation and look at a few of the definitions. Um, so I guess at this point, well, actually, I'll tell you a little more. So once you get through, you put your addresses in for the business. Remember, I said the business address. It's going to also ask, is this the mailing address? If not, you can put that in separately. Right here, you're going to review everything. You're going to be able to, actually, you can't edit. So yeah, you're going to review everything. If it's wrong and you have to go back, they're going to tell you have to start all the way over from the beginning. If everything is right on the screen and you agree with it, it's going to take you here to the last screen. It's going to give you the last chance to not populate that number. Once you get here, it's going to ask, would you like it mailed to you? Which I forgot the exact time frame, but it could be, I think it was like a couple weeks or something. Or if not, you can obtain it instantly by a Adobe PDF download. And that's usually what I choose, especially if you're doing business and you need this immediately. You're going to be conducting some type of business like opening a bank account, or if you're doing your annual renewal for your business registration and you hadn't put your EIN number the previous time because maybe you didn't have it yet. So you would need it more promptly. So it's just always best to do it that way. And once you have a download, it's on your computer. You can always go back and save it. And especially if you have it in the cloud, you always have access to it because this is very important. Like I said, whenever opening bank accounts, a few other things, some people doing business with other entities will require you to send this letter in to make sure that you are an authorized person and that the number was established, and they want to make sure that the number is correct and the spelling of the name of the entity is correct. So that concludes this video. It's just a really quick, short video. I just wanted to show you guys how to go in and set up your own EIN number without having to pay for the service. You're very capable of doing this yourself. It's something very easy. I hope I walked you through it well enough to show you the different types of entities that you can form. And for the most part, like I said, LLCs, corporations is probably the extent of what you'll need unless it's like an estate or if you're setting up a business trust. If it is not a business trust, that trust will not need a EIN number. And again, this is all for educational purposes. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell on YouTube. Again, the channel is Glitch in the Matrix, The Apocalypse. And again, I'm your host, Ali Bey. Peace and blessings.